bitch on that beat going crazy.
Have to go first because you've screwed up your introduction this entire time. Could you please tell the people who you are?
Are we recording?
No, it's just no.
Okay, I'm gonna do this right.
At least you don't have to worry about like editing, because if you do her first, it's easy to edit.
Yeah, just cut you completely out, and we'll just put.
I'm Lindsay. My IG is McWilson89. Follow me.
My name is Sade, also known as Day. Follow me on Instagram at JustDay. Pretty much all platforms at JustDay. Young people being reckless during COVID-19. It turns out, in Allegheny County at least, most of the new cases have been young people who decide to go on vacation and bring back icky souvenirs to all the people around them.
And people, like the young people, whenever they come back from vacation, they don't want to self-quarantine for 14 days. They can't do that.
They need to stop going on vacation anyway. Like, it's a pandemic. Ooh, stay home. Like, there's so many things that you could work on yourself. Stop going out and going on vacation. It's not necessary.
Oh, the airplane prices are cheap. Let's go.
But I think a lot of this has to do with, like, things are still accessible. Like, things aren't all the way shut down. So people have ways to get places. Like, they're opening up beaches. So, of course, people are going to go.
Like, airplanes are now allowing 100% capacity now.
It's just too much too soon. It's telling people, hey, come on, sure.
I've been on an airplane. There's absolutely no way to social distance anyways. So I was just like, I don't, like, even when they were just like blocking off the middle seat at one phase, I was like, that ain't gonna help. Like,
because you're still breathing in, recyclable air. Like, it's too small of a space. It's like literally sitting in a closet with somebody and expecting not to get whatever they got because you put some clothes in between you. No.
Someone could sit right beside you and sit there and sneeze and cough, and they could be in your direction. But even if they're not in your direction and they're sitting right beside you, you're still going to get it.
Most of them all require masks, though. They actually turn people away. People are super hot because they turn them away.
And it's sad because in stores, grocery stores, and pharmacy stores, anywhere, they don't want to wear a mask. And then they want to sit there and have a big problem, blood out of proportion, and sit there and want to walk in stores without a mask, and people around them has masks on, and they want to sit there and I didn't drink it.
What? How you gonna stop in the middle of years? You're so special.
But it's like, it's kind of just, it is disrespectful to all the older people that have passed away from the disease. Because we were doing such a good job. I don't want to say we're not doing a good job anymore. We're just getting a little too lax in the green face. We're still doing a good job because I did expect some of the numbers to go up because I knew how little testing that we had done in Allegheny County just looking at the numbers, I was like, there's not enough testing sites. That's why it looks like we're excelling at this. I was like, there's probably some things that we need to look at. And now that we're starting to do all this testing, a lot of people are starting to test positive. But we also have to stop being relaxed and taking vacations just because the prices are cheap.
Real talk. I think a lot of people don't understand. Like they're taking this as, you know, it's just you'll get sick, you'll take some medicine, and you'll be all right. You don't know that. They don't know that. They don't know what's going on. So why would you just trust everything that people are saying on TV? Obviously, they don't know. So why are people still risking their lives and going to these places that are hot spots and then bringing this stuff back?
And
Like,
I guess because they see the numbers that more young people have recovered than older people who have
but that
gotten
could
it.
change.
But it's
All
not.
of that could change.
But it's like younger people can die from it too, and younger people have died from it too.
True.
And it's like younger people go around like, oh, coronavirus isn't real, it's just the flu.
It's not. They don't know what
It's
it
a
is.
little more than that. You should be a lot more careful, but people don't care.
People not
But
being
the crazy thing
hospitalized.
is the black community, a lot of people in the black community that I spoke to, they said they will not take a vaccine because they feel like they don't trust the government, and a lot of black people are anti-vaccination.
I mean, but they
Not
have,
just of COVID-19, it's just
yeah. But I mean, you got to
anti-general.
think about history. Like they have good reason. Like history has pointed to government distrust among our people. Like I don't think it's a terrible thing that people aren't getting vaccinations, but I also don't blame them because there is no trust in the government.
a lot of
just
people.
isn't.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, why should my child get vaccinated for anything?" Because it's not like smallpox and chickenpox and like all those things that were eradicated exist anymore. And I'm like, they don't exist anymore because people
Yeah,
got vaccinated.
Mhm.
And not only that, but little children, like, there was a child just a few weeks ago, it was a baby, and the baby passed away from this. It's like, and people walk around with their newborns without a cover or mask over the baby's faces. They just walk around with the baby exposed to the air and everything, but the mom and everybody else has on
That's because
masks.
you can't put a mask on a baby.
Yeah, I know, but you could still cover the baby. But
I
people,
think that this is a terrible thing that's going around, and there's not enough answers for people to be moving in the manner that they're moving. You know, people have
But
just.
we can look to other countries.
Man,
If we look to other countries and we see how they're handling it, some countries already have 0 cases of the coronavirus currently.
because they've been wearing masks.
And we are,
Like they've been wearing masks. They know that there are things that go around in the air, and they don't want no parts of it. We
Yeah.
gotta wear a mask for like 3-4 months, or somebody tells you for like, you know, just to wear. Just now we're starting to wear a mask, and everybody's, oh, it's so hot. Oh my God, oh, I don't know what to do. We're spoiled. We're spoiled.
and Americans are already banned from some countries, so, you know.
They don't want us. They're like, nah, y'all keep
Because the
that.
federal government doesn't know what it's doing.
Right.
It's very divisive. Like, just come out with one agenda, and the agenda so far has been, I want to look great, even if the numbers aren't great, even if that means I got to sacrifice some of my own citizens.
Yeah.
That's basically
And a lot of
what our
this-
federal government is doing.
Yeah, because I feel like they're fudging the numbers just so because it's an election year and everybody wants to say, oh, you know, we're doing the right thing. Look at our numbers.
The numbers definitely aren't being, well, the numbers, especially in these cities that we know, like Texas, Arizona, and there's one more, definitely not being fudged. Texas had 5,000 cases, no, Florida had 5,000 cases
So
on
that's
one
because
day.
they don't care. They're
Texas
like,
and
so what?
Texas and Georgia are completely open also.
Yeah, they don't care.
Texas just reclosed itself.
Florida is sitting there and it's making it mandatory for even if you're just taking a walk, you
Is
have
it
to wear
Florida?
a mask. Yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah.
They're late to the party because they've been.
It's too late now.
They were the first to open.
Yeah, I'm like, it's too late now. I mean,
You
great.
already
You're telling
sat
these people to put a mask on now, but now all these people that aren't already in the hospital asymptomatic, I mean, it's too late. It's too late.
Great Juneteenth was. Juneteenth was awesome to see the solidarity, even from a distance. The black community celebrated and showed up and showed out for what it meant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me think, like, where's all that pride the rest of the year? Because a lot of black businesses are seeing a lot of, they saw a lot of love and caring, like the black-owned banks. They got a lot of new customers.
And a lot of black people have transferred their accounts to a black bank because.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I love that the people are showing up for Juneteenth. I'm glad that people are acknowledging it. But it's like it's one day.
You can do it more than one day. Like, you could take pride in your community.
I need our black people to be on their stuff every single day. People are out here dying. Where is all this pride? Where is all this support and unity all the time? It shouldn't just take for Juneteenth to happen or Black History Month or somebody to die for people to come together. We need to be having this stuff all the time. Know your history, read a book, find out ways where you can support black businesses in your own community. Stop going out here buying Jordans. Stop buying all these different technologies that don't support us. Stop shopping at places that don't support us. Like, that's what makes me angry when we have these great celebrations and you see all these people, you know, for Juneteenth or, you know, Black History Month, they're doing all these great things now. But then it fades and everybody goes back to normal. Where are y'all all the rest of the time? Like, there's people out here killing, like we were talking about earlier. We got people in our community that are losing their minds. This woman went on a whole rant on Facebook and killed one of her kids. We got people out here killing each other every single day in our community. You know, we need people to show up every single day. Like it's Juneteenth every single day.
We're talking about the celebration, like Juneteenth is a celebration of the freedom of slavery, and it's a lot of the oppression in the black community is systematic, but we also have to figure out ways to look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe we have to take stake in our communities. We know this is the way the system is set up, but what can I do to change the narrative? What can I do to have a stake in my community? Because oddly enough, when people say Black Lives Matter, they say, what about white people? That's usually, and someone says, what about black on black crime? And I'm like, well, the media is the person, the entity that is creating this black on black crime narrative and has been keeping it going for years, because black people don't even make up a huge percentage of the country.
Right.
White on white crime does exist, and it actually happens more.
Yeah.
But you never see it on TV because it doesn't fit the narrative that the media wants you to see.
But they want to put on the news, make sure it's breaking news, that black people and black people attacking or killing other black people is the breaking news. Because
they want an excuse. They always want an excuse for something. But see, you guys are killing each other. So why should we? Man, look, these people are not for us. The media is not for us if we're not for ourselves. And it gets back to my original point. We need to be more diligent about supporting our own community. And I'm not saying that out of some selfish, other people don't matter. I'm just saying there's other communities that are way more invested in themselves than we are. You know, you got the Jewish community and their money multiplies like 10 times. You got the white community and their money multiplies like 20 times. Our community multiplies 0. Why? Because we're buying their stuff. We're helping them. I'm not saying don't help your neighbor or whatever, but we need to help us first. You can't save nobody from drowning if you're drowning yourself. And we are drowning. As a people, we are drowning. We need people to show up every day.
You can't pass down Jordans. Jordans do
No,
not.
they do not. They do not pass down.
They do not.
And I'm not saying don't buy them. I'm just saying stop putting so much value on things that hold no real value. When you die, you're dead. Nobody wants your shoes.
Buy a house.
Jordan's not paying for your funeral. It's not gonna happen. You know, he got his already. And the people who support him and his shareholders, they got theirs already.
I'm not certain if he even wears Jordans.
He don't.
Jordans don't even wear Jordans.
He don't. Somebody designed those shoes when he was playing in the NBA and said, "Hey, we designed a shoe for you. You
We
like
want
them?
you to
Voila,
put your name
magic."
on it.
And it just, you know, it turned. He is a great basketball player. But good for him. You know, I'm not anti-Jordan. I'm just saying we need to have more investment in our own community, our own stuff.
You guys weren't in slavery, so you guys do not know what we went through, what all of us went through.
Well, also, it'd be different. Everybody always talks about, oh, we went through, 400 years, 300 years, however long. That's not accurate. We're still in slavery now. There's still shit we can't do.
Your cat is
But yeah, we're still enslaved now. There's still things that we can't do. You know, and we're still being held down by, if it's not one thing, it's another. If
we
it's
were
not
promised reparations at one point, but it never actually went through. And instead, the slave owners got money for each slave that they let go after it was deemed illegal to have slaves.
It's sad to know that still somewhere I believe it's in the United States or it's out of the country, that slavery is still going on.
Slavery legally doesn't exist in the United States.
Then
True.
it's out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's still going on.
I mean, mental slavery is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, financial slavery is a thing. We got people out here that, you know, the black people are still not making as much as their white counterparts. Women are still not making as much as their male counterparts. That's financial slavery. You can, you know, work your entire life and still not have enough to buy a house or take a vacation.
But it's like in the other countries, it's not equal rights. Like,
Yeah,
they don't make this, like, women cannot drive in other countries.
yeah. But I mean, in this country, we still, I mean, they may not call it slavery, but it is a
But
form of
it's-
slavery.
It's oppression.
Yeah,
It's still going on.
Yeah.
Low key.
we still can't do nothing.
When I say, hey, maybe we should keep this area clean, or maybe we should do this differently, you can't leave abandoned cars, this, that, and the third in your community. They say, where do you think you are? Do you think you are in a rich neighborhood? I said, if you went to a rich neighborhood, what are you going to do in a poor one?
Right.
Right.
Like they need more problems.
And that one video that I showed you guys of the girl that was drunk, or she was intoxicated some way, somehow, and that group of young black men threw her in the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't think that a lot of our people sometimes realize that the decisions that they make affect us all. They're already looking at us like a bunch of monkeys. They're already trying to eradicate us and kill us, and then you giving them an excuse. I mean, I'm not saying it's an excuse for the things that are going on, but it does give them something to talk about. See, look what they do to each other. See, they don't have the sense. Told you, they're monkeys.
They threw her in the dumpster.
I'm like, what kind of monster
And
we got?
taped it. They
Yeah.
all taped it.
Listen, if you gonna be an evil dummy, at least don't put it where you got evidence. Why would you record that? That's stupid. Like, we've seen some dumb criminals, but that's some stupid stuff. You gonna do some horrible shit to somebody and then you gonna record it.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of sense does that make? You wonder why these white people's out here getting away with stuff? Because they're not putting it on Facebook. I mean, some of them are. But don't put that shit on Facebook. I'm not saying go out and just do some horrible stuff and just don't record. I'm just saying stop showing these people excuses for them to say things and do things and make statements.
And do it. You shouldn't do things like that. Period.
At all.
Especially like taping it for clout. Like, what type of people are you attracting? Like,
Yeah, what did you get from that? What did you get from that? You threw this girl in a trash can because she was drunk. Like, what does that show? Like,
So
does that make you cool? Like, I don't get it.
That's how you treat women. That's how you treat.
But it's
Like, what if that was your kid? What do you think people think of you when they're watching that video?
What if that was your mom or something?
Right.
You don't have to worry about what if that was answer title here. Everybody is a human, and
Nobody deserves to be thrown in a trash can. We're supposed to be helping each other. Like, there should be no excuse as to why you don't help somebody if you have the means to do it, especially one of your own.
And nobody should be disrespected like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's one of your own. She was one of us. If anything, you should be like, yo, you drunk. Let me help you get somewhere so you could be safe.
And the people who did it was one of our own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they laughed about it and they recorded it.
I think we've been desensitized as a people. I mean, I'm talking about not just black people.
Everything don't belong on the internet is the issue. Stop
Yeah.
putting everything on the internet. Everything you don't have to be seen and reacted to. Everything does not warrant a reaction.
Right. I think there's so much emphasis on being like a socialite and
Being liked.
Yeah.
Likes don't pay the bills. And
some of the things you gotta determine whether or not people are laughing with you or at you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing from our people, they're laughing at us. These people that are in power are laughing at us because we're out here displaying stupidity.
Like, I wasn't laughing at the girl that was thrown in the dumpster, and I wasn't laughing at the people that taped it and did it.
Yeah,
I was like,
there's nothing funny about that.
Because that makes you really scummy.
I felt embarrassed because that was our people.
You know, and I feel like a lot of people are going to get offended when we say our people. And at this point, I don't care. I don't care if you get offended because if it was the roles were reversed, trust me, if they had an opportunity to say their people, they would too, and they have. We need more people worried about our people.
We need more people that if they were walking past, they'd be like, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, why are we
And I understand, we've gotten into this thing where people are afraid to speak up because there are crazy people out here. And, but if you just stand there and watch somebody do something like that, you might as well have done it yourself. You need to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Don't sit there and videotape this. Call somebody. Do something. Make a change.
That's like that picture where there's someone drowning in a lake and everybody is taping it and no one is calling 911.
Yeah.
And no one's
And don't tell me none of y'all can swim because one of y'all can swim. Somebody, I mean, you see it all the time. These heroic acts where it'd be like a dog in the reservoir or something, and people will create they'll have a human chain to go get this dog. We won't even do it for our own people.
We gotta do better. Let's talk about friendship, something later during quarantine, just in general.
I feel like that's not even gonna be light, but we're gonna do it. All right. Well, when you say friendships, do you mean how it's affected by quarantine, or how do you want to talk about the good about the quarantine friendships, the bad or the ugly?
Just in general, how are friendships affected by quarantine?
We love each other. That's how it's affected. We've never been closer. Squisher. That is how quarantine friendships are supposed to be. Not, a whole bunch of y'all going out to the bar, getting corona, and then coming back and spreading it to everyone else.
And not people wanting to hang around a lot of other people and then bring all those people around you.
I think this quarantine has brought a lot more clarity to friendship in general. You think that you're friends with somebody until something crazy happens, and then it kind of really shows you who's really around and who's really on the same page as you.
I feel like quarantine friendship for me was an eye-opener to people who I thought were my friends and people who I thought cared about my health and everything else, because my health is very compromised. It's also very serious, in other words. But it's like, I would hope that my other friends would have cared about my health and would have thought about, my health and wanting to, who they bring and everything else and people who they've been around, and take that into consideration that I can't be around any of that, because it's very easy for someone to come around who has it for me to get it and I die.
Very true. I think it's brought into like the a respect factor, not just as friends but as people. You respect somebody and you want to call them your friend. I feel like if there's any chance, like even when you have a common cold, before all this, if you had a common cold, you would not inflict that on somebody that you called a friend. You would be like, you know what, hold on, I'm a little sick, so I'm gonna keep my distance. And I feel like during the pandemic, a lot of people were just like, they're so concerned with, oh, I might be missing out. Like they have FOMO. Like, instead of thinking, yo, you know what, we gon' there's other ways for us to still be friends. Like we can talk on the phone, we can Skype. I can, quarantine for this 14 days and I'll come and get back with you. Quarantine is really just, some people it's torn apart, some people it's brought together. It's shown, some of the best examples of friendship where, somebody graduated and they ride past in like a, little caravan or whatever, because out of respect, you don't want to give it to somebody that you care about, or even if, even if they do get over it, you still don't want somebody to go through that, period. Mm-hmm. So it's respecting people that, your friends that may be a little more germophobic or, having those open conversations and being understanding. Because some people may, have a difference of opinion, but if you're friends, you'd be like, I may not feel that way, but
I had a
cool
question that I came up with. I think that's what I was getting to when I wrote this here format. Do you think from Insecure that Molly and Issa Rae's friendship would have lasted a quarantine? Molly and Issa, do you think they would have made it?
I don't think so. But here's why, though. I feel like they both have the personality where, and they came to that crossroads where Issa was like, well, I'm always the one to come and be the bigger person to apologize to reach out first. And then Molly was like, I'm not reaching out to her. I don't care. She don't want to be around. And I feel like this would have given them an excuse to be apart. Like, man, forget it. I don't, I'll be over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when people are given an excuse not to be around that person and not to fix the problem or not to talk it out, sometimes they would take that. And I feel like in this instance, that's exactly what would have happened. There's no way. And it would have just made things a distance in a relationship sometimes, especially once you start on a problem, it makes things worse. Because then it makes it awkward when you see the person, because now you have nothing in common. But no, I don't think it would. I don't think that would have lasted at all.
I don't think that their relationship would have lasted during quarantine, because knowing everything that Molly's going through and everything Issa Rae's going through, and knowing their beef that they had with each other, they would have never came to common ground to sit there and meet up and to anything. They wouldn't even be quarantine friends. Mm-mm. Like, it wouldn't happen.
There's no way in the world they would have even quarantined together. Like, I feel like that would have been like the first thing that if you're friends, like, why don't we just quarantine together? But nah, I don't think there would have been any effort made to be like, all right, well, I've quarantined for 14 days, you quarantine for 14 days, and then that way we can be around each other. That would have never happened. Like,
all right. So on an actual lighter note, friendship was supposed to be late, but that wasn't late at all. So I'm gonna keep trying. What's going to be your favorite place to vacation this year?
Home.
What room in your home?
My favorite place to vacation this year in my home is not even a room. It's actually my backyard. Like, I love sitting out back. I love my fire pit. Like, that's like when I think of, like, a lot of people be like, well, that's not really, you know, a vacation. But I love building fires. I love splitting wood. I love, like, doing campy stuff. like when I have a day where it's like it's nice outside, I can go outside and split wood and sit outside by the fire pit with a beer or a drink and just kick it. What are you?
She was rocking.
And now you started her with the rocking and the laughing. This is why I go outside. This is why I said the backyard, because I'm not staying in a house with this.
That one was not because of anything. I was just literally doing that.
I know.
Don't.
I saw it on the camera.
Over here like.
I saw it on the camera. Like, you're just rocking back and forth. That is probably hell to edit.
I wasn't looking scared.
Yes,
I
you
was
were.
looking
You
at
looked there.
Day that stopped me from rocking.
Nah, you was sitting here like.
This is where we sign off.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite, just FYI, my favorite place is the whole house because we have pets.
That doesn't count. I feel like that doesn't
That
count.
was a cop-out.
That was a cop-out. Cheesy.
What?
What? That was a cop-out.
The whole house.
The whole house? Look at you dropping stuff.
Because you have pets.
Heathen. That is not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Anywho, we will see
Peace
y'all
out.
next time we record. We're going to get a cardboard cutout and just put her in it.
Till next time.
If you haven't already, subscribe. AngelLeeTV. It should be somewhere around, like, over here. Yeah, that's a good spot.
Why
Right
is it
here.
got to be me?
No, I didn't say you. I said right here.
Oh.
Subscribe. You've been watching Housewine. Thank you very much.
Peace
if you
out.
have any comments or suggestions for the next thing let's talk about, leave it down
In the
there.
comments down below.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Are you ready?